So suppose alpha, beta, and gamma are angles in a triangle, and sine squared alpha over cosine alpha equals to a squared over b times c, then the triangle is the right triangle. We may need or may not need to know which angle we have to prove that it's a 90 degrees. So I would look for symmetries. And I would say that A seems to be different from B and C. Because here there is alpha, alpha, and then BC, that's a symmetrical expression, and that's it. So actually, when I first solved this problem, I thought that we're going to end up finding out that alpha is 90 degrees. But that's not going to be very likely because cosine of 90 degrees is 0, and that would cause division by 0. And anything over 0 is undefined, cannot be equal to anything else. So actually, looking at the expression itself, it looks like what should be reasonable is that beta is 90 degrees or gamma is 90 degrees. And they have a very symmetrical role. Anyway, this problem may be more difficult than it looks like. It's a good thing to remember about the law of sines that it's an easy switch between sines and angles. So if you have something like A over B, you can easily switch to sine alpha over sine beta. That's one of the superpowers of the law of sines that the law of cosines don't have. It's an easy switch between sides and angles, or from A to B, B to C, and so on. So A over C is then sine alpha over sine gamma. And the right-hand side is A over B times A over C, which clearly can be rewritten like this. And I think that's attractive because then sine squared alpha is going to be in the numerator of both expressions. So let's just rewrite the right-hand side accordingly. So we have sine squared alpha over cosine of alpha equals to sine alpha over sine beta times sine alpha over sine gamma. And then we can divide both sides by sine squared alpha, and we get 1 over cosine alpha equals 1 over sine beta sine gamma. And I guess if these three things are in the denominator, then they are not 0. And if neither side is 0, we can just simply take the reciprocal of both sides. Or you can think of this as cross multiplying, or multiply both sides by cosine alpha times sine beta sine gamma. Either way, all three of them will lead you to this line. Cosine alpha equals sine beta sine gamma. And again, it's good to look at the symmetries. And I would say alpha clearly is different from beta and gamma. So we have to prove that this triangle is a right triangle, but we haven't used the fact that these three angles are in a triangle. So if alpha plus beta plus gamma equals 180, then alpha is 180 minus beta plus gamma. And so we can rewrite the left-hand side, cosine of alpha as cosine of 180 degrees minus beta plus gamma. And then recall that if two angles are supplementary, then their cosines are opposites of each other. So this actually equals to minus cosine of beta plus gamma. Right, beta plus gamma, this is its supplement. So just think of beta plus gamma as theta. Cosine of 180 degrees minus theta is minus cosine of theta. And theta is just beta plus gamma. Okay, so, if you look at this product occurs in the sum or difference formula for cosines, and the angles are now matched. So maybe there is some advantage in expressing this using the sum formula. So we get -1 times cosine beta plus gamma is cosine beta cosine gamma minus sine beta sine gamma. And then we distribute the minus sign. And I need more space here. So when we distribute the minus sign, we get minus cosine beta cosine gamma plus sine beta sine gamma equals to sine beta sine gamma. Oh, and we subtract this from both sides, we get that minus 1 times cosine beta times cosine gamma equals to 0. By the zero product rule, either cosine of beta equals to 0 or cosine gamma equals to 0. Now, we will conclude that means that either beta is 90 degrees or gamma is 90 degrees, but we should be a little bit more careful. Because there are lots of other angles that have a cosine of 0. So let's just see. On the unit circle, 90 degrees and negative 90 or 270 or coterminal. But an angle that lives in a triangle can only be between 0 and 180, and between 0 and 180, the only angle that has 0 for cosine is 90 degrees. So what we have is beta is 90 degrees or gamma is 90 degrees. So the triangle is a right triangle. Thank you for watching.